It's week 18 of A Year of Wisdom. Let's get to reading. Day 125. Job 5. Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? And to which of the holy ones, angels, will you turn? For anger slays the foolish man, and jealousy kills the simple, naive. I've seen the foolish taking root and outwardly prospering. But I cursed his dwelling immediately, for his destruction was certain. His children are far from safety, and included in their father's ruin. They are oppressed and crushed in the court of justice in the city's gate, and there is no one to rescue them. The hungry devour his harvest, and take it even when it grows among the thorns. The trap opens for his wealth. For affliction does not come forth from the dust, nor does trouble spring forth from the ground. For man is born for trouble, as naturally as sparks fly upward. As for me, I would seek God and inquire of him, and I would commit my cause to God, who does great and unsearchable things, marvelous things without number. He gives rain upon the earth and sends waters upon the fields, so that he sets on high those who are lowly, and he lifts to safety those who mourn. He frustrates the devices and schemes of the crafty, so that their hands cannot attain success or achieve anything of lasting worth. He catches the so-called wise in their own shrewdness, and the advice of the devious is quickly thwarted. In the daytime they meet in darkness, and at noon they grope as in the night. But God saves the innocent from the sword of the mouth of the devious, and the poor from the hand of the mighty. So the helpless have hope, and injustice shuts its mouth. Behold, how happy and fortunate is the man whom God reproves. So do not despise or reject the discipline of the Almighty, subjecting you to trial and suffering. For he inflicts pain, but he binds up and gives relief. He wounds, but his hands also heal. He will rescue you from 6 troubles. Even in 7, evil will not touch you. In famine, he will redeem you from death. And in war, from the power of the sword. You will be hidden from the scourge of the tongue, and you will not be afraid of destruction when it comes. You will laugh at violence and famine, and you will not be afraid of the wild beasts of the earth, for you will be in harmony with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field will be at peace with you. You will also know that your tent is secure and at peace, and you will visit your dwelling and fear no loss, nor find anything amiss. You will also know that your descendants will be many, and your offspring as the grass of the earth. You will come to your grave in old age, like the stacking of grain on the threshing floor in its season. Behold this, we have investigated it, and it is true. Hear and heed it, and know for yourself, for your own good. Proverbs 5. My son, be attentive to my wisdom, godly wisdom learned by costly experience. Incline your ear to my understanding, that you may exercise discrimination and discretion, good judgment. And your lips may reserve knowledge and answer wisely to temptation. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, like a honeycomb, and her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter, like the extract of wormwood. Sharp as a 2-edged sword, her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold of Sheol, the netherworld, the place of the dead, so that she does not think seriously about the path of life. Her ways are aimless and unstable. You cannot know where her path leads. Now then, my sons, listen to me, and do not forget the words of my mouth. Let your way in life be far from her, and do not go near the door of her house. Avoid even being near the places of temptation. Or you will give honor to others, and your years to the cruel one. And strangers will be filled with your strength, and your hard-earned wealth will go to the house of a foreigner. who does not know God. And you will groan when your life is ending, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and you say, "How I hated instruction and discipline, and my heart despised correction and reproof. I've not listened to the voice of my teachers, nor have I inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was almost in total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cisterns of a pure marriage relationship, and fresh running water from your own well. Should your springs, children, be dispersed as streams of water in the streets, confine yourself to your own wife. Let your children be yours alone, and not the children of strangers with you. Let your fountain, wife, be blessed with rewards of fidelity. And rejoice in the wife of your youth. Let her be as a loving hind and graceful doe. Let her breasts refresh and satisfy you at all times. Always be exhilarated and delight in her love. Why should you, my son, be exhilarated with an immoral woman, and embrace the bosom of an outsider, pagan? For the ways of man are directly before the eyes of the Lord, and he carefully watches all of his paths, all of his comings and goings. The iniquities done by a wicked man will trap him, and he will be held with the cords of his sin. He will die for lack of instruction, discipline, and in the greatness of his foolishness he will go astray and be lost. Ecclesiastes 5. Guard your steps and focus on what you are doing as you go to the house of God and draw near to listen, rather than to offer the careless or irreverent sacrifices of fools, for they are too ignorant to know they are doing evil. Do not be hasty with your mouth, speaking careless words or vows, or impulsive in thought to bring up a matter before God. For God is in heaven and you are on earth. Therefore let your words be few. For the dream comes through much effort, and the voice of the fool through many words. When you make a vow or a pledge to God, do not put off paying. For God takes no pleasure in fools, who thoughtlessly mock him. Pay what you vow. It is better that you should not vow than that you should vow and not pay. Do not allow your speech to cause you to sin, and do not say before the messenger, priest, of God that it was a mistake. Why should God be angry because of your voice, words, and destroy the work of your hands? For in a multitude of dreams and in a flood of words there is worthlessness. Rather, reverently fear God and worship him with awe-filled respect, knowing who he is. If you see the oppression of the poor and the denial of justice and righteousness in the province, do not be shocked at the sight of corruption. For a higher official watches over another official, and there are higher ones over them, looking out for one another. After all, a king who cultivates the field is an advantage to the land. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves abundance with its gain. This too is vanity, emptiness. When good things increase, those who consume them increase. So what advantage is there to their owners except to see them with their eyes? The sleep of a working man is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the full stomach, greed, of the rich, who hungers for even more, will not let him sleep. There is a grievous evil which I have seen under the sun, riches being kept and hoarded by their owner to his own misery. For when those riches are lost in bad investments and he becomes the father of a son, then there is nothing in his hand for the support of the child. As he came, naked from his mother's womb, so he will return as he came, and he will take away nothing from all his labor that he can carry in his hand. This also is a grievous evil. Exactly as he was born, so he shall die. So what advantage has he who labors for the wind? All of his life he also eats in darkness, cheerlessly without sweetness and light, with great frustration, sickness, and anger. Behold, here is what I have seen to be good and fitting, to eat and drink, and to find enjoyment in all the labor in which he labors under the sun during the few days of his life which God gives him. For this is his allotted reward. Also every man to whom God has given riches and possessions He has also given the power and ability to enjoy them and to receive this as his allotted portion and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God to him. For he will not often consider the troubled days of his life, because God keeps him occupied and focused on the joy of his heart, and the tranquility of God indwells him. And as always, I appreciate you being here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the bell so you'll get notifications. And make sure to hit that like button as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Maranatha.
I know without a doubt you'll carry me out of the storm. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord. It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.